Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Police are called to drag an audience member out of a school board meeting over a gesture most people find highly offensive. Sean?
We are tracking school mask mandates. Which districts have put them in place, which districts have not, and what some districts are waiting for before making a decision.
A hearing in Lansing over workplace vaccine mandates devolves into a series of false claims and conspiracy theories. Some people are strongly against employers telling their employees to get vaccinated. So there's a bill in Lansing right now that would ban that practice.
Bill is not likely to get very far, but it did get a hearing today, and our Grant Herms reports the testimony featured a disturbing amount of misinformation.
For weeks, there have been protests at hospitals all across the state, like Beaumont here, after they required vaccines for their employees. Those same employees saying they feel intimidated to get a shot they don't want. But the problem is their fears are often based in unfounded or potentially dangerous conspiracy theories that were on full display today in Lansing. Lawmakers in Lansing listening to testimony about House Bill 4471 that would prevent employers from mandating any vaccines, masks, or asking employees their vaccination status. But the hearing quickly devolved into unfounded and often completely false conspiracies, which the room occasionally cheered for.
The only data and science they are hearing about is based on often conflicting media reports about guidance from politically motivated government agencies.
Among the speakers, several known anti-vaccine doctors, including Christina Parks, a PhD who pushes debunked theories about vaccines causing autism and the benefits of hydroxychloroquine, James Nushwander, who was disciplined in 2015 by the state medical board for negligence, and Dr. Mo Talia, who accused Dr. Anthony Fauci of funding and profiting from the spread of outbreaks dating back to the early 2000s. While the testimony was questioned by some lawmakers, many stayed silent.
It feels like a lot of the testimony wasn't even relevant to the bill.
The bill was opposed by 7 major business and health groups. Only one sent a representative to speak, the Detroit Chamber of Commerce, which called the bill government overreach.
We're not arguing for a vaccine mandate. We're not arguing against a vaccine mandate. But we are arguing for vaccines because it's the only way out of the pandemic and the endless battles against variants.
Misinformation fueling Michigan's debate and the virus as the pandemic rages on. In Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.
Now, there was no vote on the bill today, so it hasn't gotten out of committee. Even if it were to make it to the governor's desk, it is unlikely that she would sign it.
And Governor Whitmer's office made it clear yesterday individual school districts will be left to decide on mask policies heading into the new school year. And some parents continue pushing back on the idea of their children having to mask up to protect themselves and others. Sean Lay is live with what parents on both sides are saying tonight. Sean?
And late today, Kimberly, a big group of parents in Macomb County urging for a mask mandate within schools there. A number of things that they cited as reasons why, in particular, not wanting to go back to virtual learning. Other parents telling us, hey, let's pump the brakes here a second. Let's leave this decision up to the parent to see what's best for their own child.
All I'm trying to say is we as parents should have a choice. Like, why are there mandates? Like, if you want to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you don't want to wear a mask, don't wear a mask. If you want your kids to wear one at school, great. If you don't, that's fine too.
Melissa Gordon is a Warren mom taking to Facebook to express her frustration. Warren Consolidated Schools has not put in a school mask mandate, but she thinks the district may flip when she wants to make the decision on masks for herself.
I don't want my kids in masks all day.
Guidance from the CDC and American Academy of Pediatrics, along with the State Department of Health, says their data shows kids masked up in the classroom will slow the spread of COVID-19. It's a hotly contested decision. Governor Whitmer has left to be made at the local level. An online school mask tracker is up and running where you can check mask rules district by district. And you can see Ann Arbor schools requiring masks, Detroit Catholic schools, no mask requirements, Brighton schools, no masks, Farmington Hills, they're waiting. Masks if there is a spike in county cases. Emily Miletus, she has kids in Romeo schools. She's urging the district to require masks, but doesn't think she's being heard.
The CDC, right? The American Academy of Pediatrics. Locally, we have representatives from Henry Ford and Beaumont saying your kids need to be in masks in school.
All right, so much focus on school districts, district by district, Kimberly and Devin. However, coming up at 6 o'clock, your local county health department may have the final word on this, and we'll explain at 6. Back to you.
Okay, Sean, we'll see you then. Thank you.
Tense moments in Washington today. A 5-hour standoff near the U.S. Capitol. It ended peacefully when a man in a truck who claimed to have a bomb surrendered to police. Alice Barr with the latest from Washington. Alice.
Good evening. It was a welcome sight to watch that man surrender to police so close to the U.S. Capitol after those tense hours stirred up emotion from the deadly January 6th siege.
After hours of negotiation, a man who claimed to have a bomb in his pickup truck surrendered to police today, bringing a peaceful end to a standoff that closed down much of Capitol Hill.
The driver of the truck told the responding officer on the scene that he had a bomb and what appeared, the officer said, appeared to be a detonator in the man's hand.
Law enforcement officials telling NBC News the man said he had a propane tank in the cab of his truck, parked on the sidewalk just outside the Library of Congress, near the Supreme Court and the U.S. Capitol. Local and federal police officers quickly cordoned off the area. The library, the High Court, and several Capitol office buildings evacuated. Though with Congress in recess, very few lawmakers and staff were in the Capitol complex today. Investigators say they've identified the suspect, a 49-year-old man from North Carolina who was reportedly broadcasting live on Facebook, streaming a litany of anti-government statements. For a time, sources said he was using a dry erase board to communicate with the officers who surrounded him.
He gave up and did not resist, and our folks were able to take him into custody without incident.
The tense scene stirring up the fear and confusion of the deadly January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. With those images fresh in their minds, police taking no chances today in Washington.
The standoff comes just days after the Department of Homeland Security warned of an elevated threat level because a combination of factors, from grievances over COVID-19 restrictions to the upcoming 20th anniversary of 9/11. In Washington, Alice Barr, Local 4.
Okay, Alice, thank you. Well, if you are enjoying this humidity, boy, do we have a forecast for you.
I never like to hurry summer along, and it feels like summer, Paul.
Dog days of August, that's for sure. We are in the low to mid 80s right now. You can kind of see the humidity in the air. It's kind of fuzzy out there. So let's talk about if that humidity is causing any storms. Well, not storms really, but Storm Tracker 4 is showing a few little pop-ups that we've had this afternoon. Let's zoom in right there. You can see one that just came through Harrison Township, Chesterfield Township, Mount Clemens. You watch, the radar's going to loop here. You see it just kind of came right through. Now another one coming through Birmingham, Berkeley, Beverly Hills. May not make it to Southfield. And then down to the south, you can see there's another one south of the airport, right at the Wayne County, Monroe County border here, approaching Carlton. Nothing violent. We've only had 2 lightning strikes all afternoon, so this is just a few isolated pop-ups. Just like last night, this stuff's going to fade away quickly, and we'll have temps falling through the 70s this evening. Nice balmy evening for an after-dinner walk. We'll be back to talk about your weekend forecast in just a few minutes. Kim?
The Biden administration is standing firm on its deadline to withdraw all troops from Afghanistan by the end of the month. That allows fewer than 2 weeks to evacuate tens of thousands of people trying to get out of the country after the Taliban took Kabul over the weekend. In an interview Wednesday, President Biden suggested U.S. forces would remain in place until all American citizens who want to leave have made it out. In addition to Americans in Afghanistan, there are up to 65,000 Afghan nationals and their families who worked with the U.S. during the war that are trying to escape. Now, coming up, we're going to hear from a local woman whose family members did not get out. They're still there in Afghanistan, living in a town taken over by the Taliban. She shares her concerns about their future coming up new at 5:30.
Got some very sad news to report from the Detroit Tigers. A member of the 1968 World Series championship team has died. Catcher Bill Freehan passed away today after a battle with Alzheimer's disease. The Royal Oak native played football and baseball at the University of Michigan, played all 15 of his MLB seasons with the Tigers from 1961 to 1976, including that magical 68 run. He made 11 All-Star games, won 5 Gold Glove awards. After retiring, Freehan returned to U of M to coach its baseball team. He was 79 years old. Tigers have released a statement that reads in part, "It is with a heavy heart that all of us with the Detroit Tigers extend our condolences to the friends and family of Bill Freehan. Our thoughts are with Bill's wife, Pat, and the entire Freehan family, and ours here at WDIV are too."
Well, if you're thinking about heading out to the Woodward Dream Cruise this weekend, you may want to listen up to this. The east and west I-696 ramps to I-75 north will close this weekend. Starting Saturday at 5 a.m., the eastbound ramp will close and the westbound ramp will close Sunday at 4 a.m. On Monday, a single lane of I-75 south will close from Coolidge to Livernois. It's all to repair a barrier wall. The work is expected to be completed just before Labor Day weekend.
There is a lot of anxiety, of course, over what school is going to look like this fall. Just ahead, the superintendent of DPSCD talks about safety in the buildings and what's being done to try to keep everyone, especially teachers, on board.
Plus, Michigan's former health director who left that post suddenly during the pandemic may have a new job. Ahead, who's looking to hire Robert Gordon at the federal level.
And shameful behavior from adults in the audience at a school board meeting in Birmingham. What one of them did, we got them escorted out by police.
Tonight, 2